live. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello to Total Spotfest. I have no idea what Jamie said there.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. This is Total Spotfest. That is Jamie. I am wearing victorious colors. I am JJ, and that returning to us with a full set of power is Austin Reddick. It's good to see you.
I'm back connected to the internet.
Oh, connected to the grid in general, you know.
4 long hours last Wednesday. Had a hailstorm blow through, golf ball size hail, knocked out power. And the real unfortunate thing when the power goes out at my house is I have decent cell service anywhere else in town, but for some reason inside my house, like my cell phone gets no internet service.
Oh.
So I'm just sitting there for like 4 hours looking around like, what are human beings supposed to do without the internet in 2025?
You ain't got no box games or anything?
We do. We have board games, we have magic cards and all that, but like, man, Wednesday nights we're watching wrestling. I was missing Dynamite. And was just sitting on the couch staring out a window like, man, some power would be nice right about now.
The funniest
Especially the power went out right before I was about to make dinner too.
Oh,
and
that's
then
the worst.
I'm sitting there like, hopefully the power comes back out in time to like make something, because I don't have service to DoorDash or anything, and I am not getting into the Jeep and just driving out into the store and trying to find something that's open. But luckily it was only a few hours, no major damage. And then the next day, because small town living is fantastic, there was a knock on my door. I go answer, and there was some like local neighborhood kid that was like with a rake, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm out raking yards. I'll rake all these leaves in your front yard for $5." And I was like, "That is a steal, son. Here you go." So I've supported a local young businessman the next day, and the cleanup came out of it doing all right.
Funny is, so we have our little group chat, right? You know, and as he was telling us, and we were both like, "Hey, no worries, be safe," you know, all this stuff, right? And Jamie goes, "Too bad, you know, we missed. We're going to talk about Riho and everything," and Austin goes, "Riho came back tonight."
Seriously, I missed Riho coming back because the damn electricity was gone. But I got to see Riho tonight. We will get to that in due time.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, Jamie, how are you doing, my man? You doing okay? I mean, you got a little, you know, you did have a great football start, you know. I mean, non-fantasy wise to the weekend.
Yeah. No, you know, I mean, other than the Chiefs defense deciding they don't know how to rush the passer, which was leaving our secondary high and dry. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. Also losing our number one target within the first 3 plays really messed them up, but you know, I feel like we're going to bounce back, hopefully, against Philly. That's a really tough ask, but you never know.
Never know. I had a fantastic weekend. I mean, of course, Saturday was glorious of all gloriousness, you know. And as much as I'm digging into Jamie, you know, a little bit, I have like 3 specifically. 2 really, really, really specifically, but 3 coworkers that the whole week were just digging into me needlessly. And it's like slow down, cowboy. Okay, all right. It's like, you guys are not the Ohio State University. Back up, okay? You know, but they're just going in. One of them went to KU, but whatever, you know. But it was funny. So we worked till about 6 on Saturdays. That's when we close on Saturdays. So the game was going on 2:30, and I had a couple things happening. But luckily, the afternoon was pretty slow, you know. It was a beautiful day. People were out doing other stuff. Plus the game, you know, was happening. So we were pretty slow. We're watching it. At the beginning, they're making a lot of noise, and I'm over on the Cadillac side where my desk is watching it. And as the game keeps going on, it's tight. Break off that final touchdown. I get up and I just Patrick Mahomes over there, you know, and all 3 of them just like little, you know, like groundhogs just like shrink into their cubicle. And I'm like, oh, what now? So, and then of course Aaron Rodgers can throw touchdowns apparently still. So, hey,
you guys can play a whole lot of defense right now.
I mean, you get one. So either you have the good offense or you have the good defense. that's the Steeler way.
If you can score 34 points, you don't have to play all that much defense.
That's fair.
Turns out.
The old school Chiefs.
I mean, I'll take that, whatever it may be. So, but we have other football to talk about. And again, if it's your first time joining us, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys giving us some of your time. Hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a big thumbs up down while we're down there. Hit the little bell icon so you can know when we go live, because spoiler alert, it's not just on Wednesdays at about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But no, let's talk about the Total Spotfest Fantasy Football League, because that kicked off this weekend too, boys. And
So did.
mostly this panel had a pretty good weekend.
That's true. That's also true. Had a great game.
Yeah. I'm not even sad about losing, because if we are anything at this podcast, we are committed to the bit. And just like last year, I started 0-4, then went on a generational run of just steamrolling everybody.
But still lost.
Had a bad week in the playoffs, but ripped off like 11 straight wins. And I'm going to turn it back around this week because I get to play Jamie, who I have never lost to in fantasy football. 3-0 all time.
Facts,
Accurate. That was accurate. We met for the third place game. Like, our teams went on both. In fairness, both of our teams went on this meteoric run. Mine
was more meteoric.
After losing to you, I went on it. I started his. I started mine the next week, and both of us were just winning, and then both of us fell off in the playoffs.
Yep. And it was all as the stars were aligning, and it was meant to be. They're going to meet for the championship, and they both just took a big old whiffer on that.
EO Skye to Jamie's Rhea Ripley. He will just never beat me.
Ooh. That's what we call a callback. Well, yes. So Jamie did win. Austin, not so much. I got a nice W as well too. I have the wrong fantasy league pulled up here. Oh my god. I like what we're doing with this too. The two quarterbacks is by far my favorite aspect of it. I thought it'd be the defensive player, right? And you look all around the league, and we all got like about the same on our defensive player, and it was just like, okay, whatever, right? But somebody is going to have that guy that gets like 4 sacks and a fumble return for a touchdown one week, or something stupid. So
yeah, it's a more fun version of the kicker spot. Because, every once in a while, you have a kicker that has a really good week, but it's pretty much always, in 6, 7, 8 5 to 12 point range. Yeah, somewhere in there. But have the defensive player instead, a couple sacks and interception, that's a big week. I do love the offensive player, though. Having 2 quarterbacks is phenomenal.
It was by far.
It's a lot of fun.
I overlooked that. I didn't even think about that when you're setting the settings up, Jamie. And then I look at after draft was done, my starting roster. I go, oh yeah, 2 quarterbacks.
Hey, I remembered it as the draft started. I was like, oh wait, because normally, if I don't take a top quarterback early on, I just stream whoever's available. And I was like, oh wait, no, we can play 2 in this league. I got to get a good one, right, and then have another one. And I feel like half of our league has not realized that yet, because I think there was a lot of teams last week that just had a receiver or running back in that position, which is not ideal.
Yeah. No. Well, that's not the biggest news, gentlemen, out of the fantasy football league.
There is another headline that needs to be addressed. Yes, Jamie.
Yes, the matriarch of the FWO is officially taking responsibility for her team. That's right. My wife is actually doing the fantasy football with us. Yes. And officially, her team name is JJ's Daddy's Mom.
And I'm definitely calling her grandma every time I see her during football season.
With a great picture of JJ as the pitcher.
I did that. So I saw that a little bit ago as I was getting ready after, I was like, let me check and pull up the scoreboard. I go, what is that? Is that? Oh, son of a bitch, that's me.
I may or may not have been helping her. It's fine.
Who could say? Who could say, really, right?
Yeah.
The
only thing I asked was I got to neighbor team. That was it.
Okay. But it is good fun, So we had a nice fun week here. Some good points. A lot of it was close too. I know that Heidi Hauser didn't pull out the dub, but she did rebound it pretty well. Still going all in on that whole Bears idea though for her fantasy team.
Committed to the bit. Hey, speaking of Bears, the only reason I lost is because Caleb Williams overperformed by 7 points.
Which is a shocking statement to put out there about Caleb Williams.
In a game that crushed my soul because they lost partially because he couldn't hit wide open guys a couple times. But it was enough to beat me in fantasy. It was a double disappointment Monday night.
I mean, he had at least 3 touchdowns he just flat out missed. Just flat out. Oh
yeah.
Don't worry. I've been there for the last few years. Don't worry. It'll be all right.
It comes with being a Bears fan. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys are getting a new stadium though, officially.
Are they officially doing Arlington Heights? Or what are they doing? I missed the announcement.
They announced that the plan is to do it in Arlington Heights. I don't know if it's been finalized yet, but that's what they're shooting for, is to move it out to the suburbs.
They are moving out to where the racetrack was in Arlington Heights. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a dome instead of a retractable roof, though, which is like
so much better. That's
in Chicago, though, you want a retractable roof, man.
I think they're doing a straight up dome. I want more snow football.
Yeah.
Especially in the NFC North.
Well, did you hear that Denver's getting a new stadium too?
What?
Yes. Also out in the suburbs.
Out in the suburbs, and they said it's gonna have a retractable roof. FML, dude. I saw a great idea tweeted out by Katie Wingy, who is the sideline correspondent / broadcaster for the Denver Nuggets. That was, if you're going to do a retractable roof, as soon as you get a ticket to the game, you should get a poll where you get to vote whether the roof is open or closed for that game. And whatever the people say, that's how the roof goes. And I love that idea.
Amazing. That's an amazing idea. Well, that sucks because, Denver Stadium is such a good spot, because it's like not,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Lord knows what the Chiefs will do. Who knows, right? Okay, boys.
We'll see.
They're gonna be out. They're gonna be out at the Legends, out at the Speedway.
I think Kansas City's gonna find a way. Frank White be damned.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Titans have a roof too. Yeah.
Why do you need a roof in Tennessee?
Because they want to host a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the only reason everybody's getting all these roofs, because they want Super Bowls.
Well, and they want to do concerts and events year round.
Yeah. Final Four, other whatever. It's
it'd be cool to go to WrestleMania in a dome, that's semi close. Like if there's WrestleMania in Denver, I could see.
Yeah,
that'd
be cool.
See, I prefer WrestleMania indoors though.
Same.
Just for lighting and stuff like that. It seems like so much of a bigger spectacle with a roof overhead. It's weird seeing some of the entrances when it's still bright and sunny outside and stuff. So I don't mind that being indoors. But football, that's an outside sport. We don't need a roof for that.
No.
Well, you are not wrong, but we also don't make a multi-billion-dollar idea and decisions, unfortunately.
Not yet. But if you're listening to this and you like and subscribe, with your help, maybe one day we will.
There you go.
There we are. That's the plug.
Stadium.
Let's talk about something we can control, and that is our markdom about wrestling. So let's get to it. All right. Final week in Philadelphia, boys. Did you like to stay at the 2300 Arena? Because I sure as shit did.
I loved it.
Yeah. It was great. I love these smaller venues. I don't think they need to exclusively do ones this small. But it's such a cool aesthetic for TV. It gives me a little bit of a nostalgia for the old studio shows, even though it's clearly much different than that.
Right.
But these smaller venues, when you fill them out, like those are diehard wrestling fans. It's not, sometimes in the bigger arenas, you get some more people that just kind of event to go to. They're a little bit less into it. And especially in Philly too. Like this was just a fun setting for a few weeks.
This was the most indie show that AEW's ever done. I mean, the chants, they had a fuck 'em up chant. A socks chant.
Yeah, FTR was leaning really heavy into it too, which I loved.
Oh, that is their whole, like, the shtick they're doing. Regardless, Cash Wheeler is going to try and fight somebody on the way to the ring. Okay, that's like the whole thing now, which, okay, I love it, right? And any place is perfect, but Philadelphia is just chef's kiss amazing for them to go out there and do the whole, like, egg on the crowd game. So, another change, though, happening to Dynamite. Bryan Danielson officially on commentary now. Good move.
Full time.
If I can hear the American Dragon talk and not wrestle, I could live with it.
Oh, he'll get out there and mix it up at some point. You know this.
Oh, he 100% will.
But
I had, and this could be more just wishful thinking on my part. But
okay.
I had the thought of, what if this is just planting the early seeds to lead to another match? He said he's done full time. Now, he has been very clear that he doesn't think his body can handle it anymore and all that, which could very well be true. But he is on record saying how much he loves lying. Like that is confirmed from his own mouth. He loves lying.
I mean, yeah.
It's just interesting to have him full time on commentary and not lead into something. Now, again, if that's all it is and he's just full time commentary and there's no physicality, still happy with it because he's phenomenal with that headset on. But a little piece of me is thinking, I wonder if this is going to lead to something down the road.
I feel like it's going to because of all the things that happened tonight.
I mean, Nigel McGuinness has gone out there and wrestled. He wrestled as recently as last month, okay? So, yeah, he's going to wrestle. But I like the addition of him on commentary. He adds a different perspective. Part of me wishes he would have replaced Taz, and we still had Toni out there too. But I get you got to have a heel guy. So, no, I like it. It was good. And they start the show off with an actual match, which they haven't really done a lot lately, you know? I mean, they always have some sort of like lead-in or whatever, you know? But they get right to it. And Don Callis' family's continued war on Hangman Adam Page goes on with just a wrestling banger of Josh Alexander, Hangman Adam Page. This is a showcase of Josh Alexander, I felt, more than anything else. Like, hey, don't forget how good this guy is, y'all.
Josh Alexander is the kind of guy you need on your roster that will go out there and have a great match with just about anybody, and you don't really have to push him. He'll never lose legitimacy just because of how good he is in the ring, and he doesn't need to win. Yeah, this was an outstanding opener. I love this match.
Yeah, and JJ, to one of your points, I want to echo that because I feel that AEW's been doing this a lot lately with their newer talent and having these matches where they get to showcase their abilities. Like they did that with Speedball, with Mox, you know, they did it with Tekla sorry. But they've done a really good job recently of showcasing their new talent and saying, hey, this is what we just brought in, y'all. Just in case you didn't know, now you know. And I 100% believe this match did that for Josh Alexander because we all know, all of us knew Josh Alexander is, but the casual fan doesn't.
Right, you know, and you know he's not going to win the match. I mean, the whole thing is a carryover. They played into it on Collision, you know, with Kyle Fletcher actually calling out Hangman, saying he wants him, right? You know, Austin, we talked about this last week, you know, and I made the bold statement about how the whole last week with the beatdown of Kenny Omega and everything was a kind of nudge to push Kyle Fletcher to the top of the card, maybe a little sooner than a lot of people would have thought, but like us. And sure as shit, that's what they're doing. And after the match, out comes Kyle Fletcher, sans socks. Okay, first of all, the whole dress suit with the short pants and socks, yay or nay?
Depends on the person. Works for Kyle Fletcher. I could not pull that off, but it's a style thing. The illustrious Ray Leone, friend of the show, is a man that can do slacks with no socks. As a sharp dressed man. Me, I'm more of a cargo shorts guy. I can never pull that off.
Jamie,
do you think I can pull that off, bro?
No, I'm saying, I'm not saying asking if personally you can pull it off, man.
It depends on the person. It depends on the person. I think, honestly, Don Callis and both Kyle Fletcher could pull it off, which is crazy.
I've never fully understood it, and I don't like it.
You must not like yacht rock either.
Oh, love me some yacht rock, man. I will get up there with Michael McDonald. Let's go to town, man. But I'm also wearing Spurries and some khaki shorts when I'm doing that shit. I don't know, the whole. For some reason, it is never set right in my brain. Maybe I've just been too ingratiated and like proper male. I don't know. Just put some socks on, for God's sake. Put some socks on. Anyway.
Dude, we wore Jinko jeans. Like, come on.
I know. I understand. I am not saying. I mean, I wore Jinko jeans, and then I merged into a FUBU boy. Okay, in high school.
One extreme to the other, dude.
100%. Well, not really, if you think about it.
Well, no, yeah, FUBU was like the same thing. It was like I was a Hilfiger boy there for a hot minute.
Oh, everybody was Hilfiger. I think I still got some Hilfiger shit. Had to get the Hilfiger cargo pants with the flag on the cargo, or not cargo, carpenter pants with the flag on the little carpenter.
Everybody had that.
Why do you have carpenter pants? Because it's got the flag on the hoop. That's the only reason why. You're not putting a hammer in that shit. Yeah, we just dated ourselves. Okay.
100%. I feel like an evil villain because my cat is really wanting.
Yeah, you are. You are full Doctor. Well, I mean, you are this show's evil villain, so it matches. Anyway, out comes Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis, and he wants an answer, and Hangman doesn't care about any phallic head dumbass, like Don Callis, and he goes into the ring, and perhaps my favorite part of the entire night, as he was going in the ring, the camera went down to him and Don, and there's a fan right there in the front row just yells out, very audible on camera, "Get in there, you big dumb sexy man." God bless you, Philadelphia.
Yeah, that popped the hell out of me. I'm glad you brought that up because that was a highlight of the night for me.
I could not miss that. I had to get that.
Honestly, that's my number 2 moment of the entire night. So
there's
only one moment that
I right here. I know. I'm in the know. I'm in your noggin. We'll get to that in a second here. All right. So he comes in, and they have a really good back and forth. Okay, we praised him. I wanted you to think of. We talked about this a lot last week, Austin. So I'll give you the floor to talk about it a little bit more. But they have a real good back and forth, and it ends up with him accepting. As long as it's a one-on-one, they don't need anybody else. And Kyle's like, I don't need anybody to beat you. So there's going to be a world title match between them at All Out with nobody else there. Okay. So what do you feel about, Austin, the progression of Kyle Fletcher, moving him into the main picture, even though if it is just for the short term, which is more than likely, right? And, his mic skills. And give me some thoughts here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I love this. Back when we were building up to All In, we were talking about Hanger winning and kind of where do you go from there and all that. Mm-hmm. I had said I would like a long run where Hanger's got a new challenger every pay-per-view cycle. I feel like wrestling's missed that for a while. And I love that they're elevating someone new into that position, because that's something else that we really haven't gotten pro wrestling in a while. The top guys are the top guys.
Yeah.
And that is a level that is gate kept very hard. Kyle Fletcher is the perfect guy for this. He's ready to take that step. I don't think there's any chance he wins it all out. He doesn't need to win it all out. He just needs to get there, show that he belongs there, and later on down the road, he'll hold that title at some point in time. Kyle Fletcher is the total package of a pro wrestler. But yeah, I love this. It's a breath of fresh air. It's something new. The match, there's no way that match isn't going to be incredible. You've got two amazing performers in the ring.
Of course.
But yeah, what a way to just elevate another guy to the top of your card and to give Hanger something new and interesting to do for pay-per-view cycle. Love every single part of this.
So allow me to pivot just a baby second here. Because you're talking about elevating another young talent to the top of the roster, right? So a lot of people lately have been saying WWE is a little boring. And I tend to agree. Can you think, just off the top of your head, this is almost like a little baby stash. That's perfect for me. Who has Hunter made into a big talent, a young talent? Who has he actually done?
Young talent?
Yeah, because everybody's really excited about the people coming back, like AJ Lee, Brock Lesnar.
I mean, you can Roxanne?
Is she a top talent though right now?
I think that is kind of the nuance of this discussion, is what is a top talent? Because I don't think anyone has broken into being a top talent in WWE since the Shield guys, probably.
Exactly.
I mean, the last person to move up into it would be Jey Uso, but that's not really.
That's not something that he did. He's not a young talent.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, so it's like that doesn't even count. Almost, I would say. So,
and I don't want to say that's the problem with WWE, because they're making money hand over fist. They don't really have problems. But like what I don't particularly enjoy about it is there's never anything new. It's the same people at the top, and all their big moments are just bringing back people that used to be at the top.
Right.
Yep.
Not only are they not elevating younger talent to these positions to really get him over, but we're getting Goldberg title matches on a Saturday night's main event. We're getting Brock Lesnar back. And like the John Cena run, like I think everyone's on board with like, hey, let's get a last farewell tour.
That's a different thing.
That's perfectly fine.
That's a send off.
But yeah, it's all just, here's stuff that used to be really over, and these other people that are working their asses off week over week because they have a super talented roster. They have the talent there. But no one gets to break through to that very top level, who very much could. There's plenty of people along the way. Even guys, I would say even someone like Kevin Owens or an AJ Styles. Phenomenal wrestlers. They were top guys in one regard, but they were never really the guy. Like they don't let anyone else be the guy that hasn't been anointed by them to be the guy. And I think the product suffers for it.
Put a giant pin in that comment, Heather. We're going to come back to that because there's words to be said. I
have a follow up to this.
Okay, let me. I look at it as this. Okay, since we're fully into football, we're gonna use a football analogy. Okay, WWE is very much the tried and true. When you're looking for your franchise quarterback, you get someone who you think has the potential. You stick them on the bench for a couple years so they can learn from your savvy veteran. When the time is right, you bring them in and you exit out. You make that transition towards that, right? So they don't have the elevation of top talent, whereas AEW is, I need a quarterback I'm drafting and you're playing now. Go. Right? You know, they'll take the chance and roll the dice that Kyle Fletcher can be a main eventer, that so-and-so can move up in the picture, that they can do like this and that. Whereas AEW is like, or WWE is very much like, no, this works. This has always worked. This has worked with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. This has worked with countless other Steve Young behind Joe Montana. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes and sit him on the bench for a year regardless before I even think about putting him in the football game, right? That's the way I look at it, right? Their structure is not to, kind of echo a little bit what Austin was saying. Their structure is not really built to do that, to take somebody who's hot at the moment. Look at Rusev, look at Karrion Kross, look at however many examples you want, and give
LA
them
Knight's
the push.
Biggest one. LA Knight has been mega over for like 2 years, and they just refuse to pull the trigger.
Right. I think the last one that I say they really did it for that was kind of quicker than what they would have usually expected. I'm going to go to the women again and say Alexa Bliss probably, right? Way back when she first had her first title.
And that was around the Shield time.
Same thing, Shield. Yeah, you're talking about the same thing. Yeah.
Which was Vince. All right, so the follow-up is, do you think AEW has the upper hand because of their infancy of a company, of being a wrestling organization, because they've not been around as long? Do you think that actually helps them build more stars, or to your point, are they more in the camp of we're just going to listen to the crowd and push who's hot?
I think it's the latter. And I don't want to, it's hard to say it's an upper hand because, again, WWE is a multi-billion-dollar company.
I mean, that's fair.
But that's the difference. AEW is a pro wrestling company. WWE is a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company.
Boom.
It's the same reason why, there's not particularly great shows on network TV anymore. It's a 18th version of NCIS or Law and Order. They just stick to what works and what people have always been paying for. They're pop music. Hey, we're going to throw another Taylor Swift album out. Doesn't matter what's on it. Swifties are going to enjoy it. They're going to spend a lot of money. They're going to buy 8 different vinyls of the same album. We're going to stick with this because it makes a shitload of money, and that's all we're doing. AEW is a pro wrestling company. They are going to stick with what the crowd's reacting to, what people are enjoying, what's hot. And it's just they're kind of just doing 2 different versions of pro wrestling. One is more the traditional sense of pro wrestling, where if you can draw, you get pushed. The other is this corporate juggernaut is going to draw no matter what just by putting WWE on the marquee. So we're just going to give you what you get, and you're going to just keep coming back anyways. And for a lot of fans, that's great. Because as much as we dog on WWE because it doesn't speak to us as just old school pro wrestling marks, it works for them. So I can't hate them for doing it, but I would much rather see what's good get pushed instead of just what's going to keep the ship afloat and just keep bringing money in get pushed.
And I think that, to echo your question, like you said, all of CBS is now just NCIS and Big Bang Theory offshoots, Heather. That's all it is, okay? It's ridiculous. Sorry, I said what I said. I think that the age of the company has a big amount to do with it. The fact that they are a younger company, and they've already surpassed WCW in their TV time and all that. I feel like it's now no longer a question. They're not going anywhere, right? But because they don't have that decades and decades and the big machine behind it that breeds, it's just like with a tech company can, one of these younger, okay, let's car companies, right? All these EV startups, right? They pull these wild swings with what they're doing with, user interface inside the car and different things like that, right? Shit that GM and Ford are going to be like, fuck no, we know it works. What are you doing, right? It's just it's that more startup mindset that I think Tony Khan has instilled because they are a younger company and they're a company for the wrestlers, like you said, Austin. That's what my take would be on it.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on the show in the past. Is like you constantly see on the internet people knocking Tony Khan. Oh, he's just a rich kid with daddy's money that got to start a wrestling company. Yeah, that's who you want running your wrestling company. Someone who loves this shit. He is a literal billionaire. He could be doing anything else, but he loves pro wrestling so much. He's like, I'm gonna start my own company. I'm gonna get all these wrestlers paid. We're gonna do all the cool stuff that people love from the history of pro wrestling. And it makes for entertaining TV, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like it's a much more enjoyable product.
What do you think, Jamie? Answer your own questions here, man. Where are you at on this?
So, I mean, first off, WWE has not done anything with building up young talent. They're all about the nostalgia and everything right now. They're rudderless, if you ask me. Like, it's very boring. It's formulaic, and it's everything that just makes it just not exciting for me. And that's the entertainment side, because they know it works for them, and it works very well for them. And you know what? I'm happy for them that it works, but it's not my cup of tea. Now, AEW, on the other hand, is younger, so they don't have the established guys. They brought in the veterans or whatever in order to set the table, but while they did that, they took the time to build their own people. Adam Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, MJF. I could keep going. You know, like, they have built these stars, and they've done a really good job of it. And I mean, hell, look what Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher was a part of Aussie Open and New Japan. Great tag team, but he was just a tag guy. And now he's an amazing body guy who is going to be a megastar. A megastar. Easy.
What a difference a haircut makes.
What?
I said, what a difference a haircut makes.
Just
go
bald.
bald. He shaved his head, and it was just like, oh, that's the guy.
That's our stash of knowledge for tonight. Just go bald.
Yes.
That's a stash of knowledge. Cut your hair, go bald.
I didn't mean it because my head was cold. My head was cold.
Going back to the beginning of the shows, that's why we're not making multi-billion-dollar decisions, because Jamie won't shave his damn head.
Yeah, I know. And he had to trim his freaking mustache. Did the wife finally say enough is enough?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where are you living? North Korea?
It was looking so good too. It was looking so good.
You know what? I loved it, but she was like, "It's time." And I'm like, "No." And then we made a deal because Audrey had a tournament up in Iowa, which I despise Iowa typically, but I said, "Well, if they win it or get second, I'll cut it," and they got second.
I got second, so there you go. All right, so you got a lot of promos going on too, you know. So that the new formula. I mean, we had more matches tonight than we have in the past few weeks. We had 5.
Yes. 2 women's matches.
2 were women's matches, which woo! We're gonna talk about that. But yeah, good amount of promos that they're going with. So and I like the fact that they're mixing it up. All right, so they got video promos from after last week's show, and live promos and backstage, and a video like montage. So a good mixture of that stuff, right? MJF's promo might have been the best one of the night, just flat out, right? Not my favorite, but arguably the best promo. This man got married, by the way. Congratulations to MJF and Alicia Tout for getting married this past weekend, and you know, for realsies.
Which I saw people banging up Hangman because he was there, and it's like they're like, "Oh, he should have been there because they're in a feud." It's like, dude, kayfabe's dead. It
Seriously.
is fine.
I mean, the first interaction, if you want to take it all the way back to the Indies between the two of them, when Alicia was just starting out as a reporter, was him walking up and going, "Listen here, sugar tits." You know, that was their first words videotaped together. And but no, congratulations to you on the real. But he does this promo and basically burying her, in a manner of speaking. You know, because. You know, how do you add fuel to MJF, Mark Briscoe, which we've seen, I don't know, how many times, Austin? 9, 10, 12? I mean, you know,
been running for a minute.
How do you add fuel to that? You add fuel to it in this way. He's costing him on his run to get the TNT title, and then shooting this promo about how he got married the day before, and more or less told his wife to shut the fuck up. I'm going to do what I need to do because I am already married to the game. I am married to being a heel. I am married to and I'm just like, and it was so good. It was MJF at his best, and I care about this match that I've already seen a dozen times. So much. Kudos, MJF. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. This was peak MJF. This wasn't grabbing the low hanging fruit and just resorting back to the usual shtick. This was when people talk about MJF being a great talker. It's stuff like this. We get a little bit too much of the just kind of mailed in basic stuff.
That's a live shit.
When
That's the live shit he does. Yeah.
When he is on, it's phenomenal. This was an amazing promo.
When he's not formulaic, he is amazing. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times more. When he just lets it rip and doesn't just do the same usual shtick, he is arguably second to none on heel promos. This was one of those moments.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And it gets him in a nice place, you know, as you said. You gotta, you know who the major players are in the main picture, but, you know, how you really succeed as a company is how you string that along with them when they're not in the championship match, right? So, kudos. Fantastic. More fantastic stuff is the comedy of wrestling, and that would be around the Young Bucks. Young Bucks back in catering because they're in a $500,000 10-man match tonight, and they're going to get their money back, and this is their way to rebuild. And so they go to sit down like fucking New Girls, right? And the Dark Order do the whole like seats taken shtick on them.
That's great.
Straight out of Forrest Gump is fantastic. You know, and then they go sit down with the rookies and stuff like that. And there's Brandon Cutler over there, and Cutler tells them to get bent. You know, so love what they're doing with the Young Bucks. Okay,
so good.
Seminal moment for Brandon Cutler.
Actually growing a spine. Okay, so we have our first of 2 women's matches. 2 of them, ladies and gentlemen. And one of them was not a squash. We had 2 actual women's matches. So this was a tag match between Mercedes Moné and Emi Sakura versus Riho and Alex Windsor. No, nothing.
Windsor!
Thank you. All right. You know, get Jamie an energy drink here, man. You're missing the cue.
I was letting it sit like Kennedy.
Okay, touche. It was a fun match. It was a good match, you know. It was, you know, circulating Riho into the TBS title picture. It feels to me like another lather, rinse, repeat, you know, but at least you're making it, you know, somewhat worthwhile. You're adding a little bit of legs to it. The whole Emi Sakura is her trainer, you know. It feels like anytime Riho's in anything, they always pull out Emi Sakura and pull that same line out. And okay. Sure. Heather is right though. Riho does remain precious. So yeah, I'll let that sit. No pipe though, Austin.
Unfortunately not. But one day we'll get Riho with the pipe again.
Can you do Riho with a pipe? Because I know, like in the video game, all the objects you pull from the crowd are actually randomized. But it's like, you know, I wonder if you can like set it up to have Riho enter with a pipe every time.
Oversized pipe too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, a regular pipe's oversized
like,
for Riho.
She's holding it like this. Which is like a normal one for anybody.
True. Riho and Alex Windsor get the win. And then you got a little back and forth promos going on there, right? You got Ricochet. He wants Shelton one-on-one. He's going to leave his boys in the back. It was a gentleman's agreement. Shelton agrees to it. You know, he's got this. So obviously that's not going to happen. Foreshadowing. FTR and Big Stoke do a little promo. This is the one we talked about at the beginning when they come out. I don't know what the purpose of this was, because again, their match doesn't need any build. The purpose of this promo was for them to come out, talk about Stokely not getting any hose, and then just fight with the crowd. And I love that. It's like, just have them come out and be assholes. That's some heel shit right there. That is the definition of heel shit, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Am I right, Jamie? Tell me I'm right.
I live my life by that credo, so yeah. Be an asshole.
Apparently, the one fan that Dax got in his face for a while with like the kind of slick back hair or whatever. Apparently, that's a guy that literally just buys a ticket to go hate tweet the show while he's there the whole time. I think I saw Sean Ross Sapp talk about that on Twitter. It's like, that's that guy's whole bit, is like he was buying a ticket. Like he just rage tweets about AEW and how much it sucks all the time. So he bought a front row ticket or a guardrail side ticket to go just like tweet shit about the show. That's why Dax went after him.
Oh my God.
But my only thing with this segment, it was weird that there wasn't some kind of like babyface run him off at the end or some kind of payoff to it. It was just like, here's an intermission for FTR to yell at the crowd and beat up some cameramen.
Loved it.
Sometimes you just need some heel shit. Okay. And other times you need Hook on a couch in a patio, a rooftop patio, fire pit in New York talking. I don't know.
There's no time where you need that.
I don't even know.
It's time for him to go on his own. Maybe
or
not.
Maybe
though.
not.
Just
stop.
Stop trying to make Hook happen. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I'm making that shirt. Don Callis agrees that they don't need to be out there, so it's going to be one-on-one for Fletcher and Hangman. I got a little, I don't know. Something in my brain popped up during this whole little segment. I don't think it's Lee. I think that this is going to be a hand that's dealt in the card game. Not poor Hook. Stop it, Heather. No. Poor us for seeing Hook on our TV. Okay.
That's fair.
I don't think this is any way an indication of Fletcher leaving the Don Callis family. I think this is going to play a role, though, in the Takeshita leaving Don Callis family.
I agree.
I had the same thought. I feel like the most obvious scenario is it's getting late in the match. Kyle Fletcher is a little overmatched. He starts calling for the reinforcements, and Takesha's the one keeping them from coming out, saying like, no, he said he was going to do it on his own. Which I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Even if it does seem a little predictable, and they could go a different direction, but even if that does seem a little predictable, that's good storytelling. That's a nice little beat in Takeshita leaving the Don Callis family, especially after he wins the Continental Championship.
Well, that's the other bit that drops. They kind of just threw this in like really briefly at the end, and maybe I missed it on social media or something, but they're having 3 matches over the next week and a half where they're going to have, and of course, it's, Okada's in one of them, but let's be real, okay? It's his title, whatever, right? The winner of those 3 matches are going to meet in a triple threat match or a 3-way or whatever the hell, at All Out for the unified title, okay? And Takesha's in one, Kazuchika Okada's in another, and then you've got Beast Mordos. Who's the Beast Mordos fighting?
Massacre Dorada.
Dorada, yeah,
right.
okay. That's a coin flip for me. I don't know who's going to win that. But I would love to see Dorada with those two. As much as I love Beast Mordos. Come on. So they're going to obviously...
I want to see Beast Mordos become the new Continental Champion.
I mean, that'd be cool, too. I love me some Beast Mordos. But obviously this is a big hand to be played in this whole saga, Jamie, because you're going to have Takesha and Okada go against each other. For real. Even though it's in the guise of a triple threat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to go at each other. They're going to have their moment, just the two of them in the ring, and the crowd's going to get super hot, and lots of fun shenanigans are going to happen, and that's going to start the cracks, that we're going to see later on in the night. And, yeah, that's when we get the official face turn of Takeshita.
All right.
Please and thank you. With his
So... I do like the framing of tonight's show because they left it all the good stuff at the end. Couple matches, couple good things to go along with those matches right at the end. Jamie's favorite moment of the show is coming up next, though, ladies and gentlemen, because you have the Philly street fight against, and I'll put this out there. I don't care what you say, Austin Reddick. The best hardcore women's wrestler in AEW, Skye Blue.
Did Willow get fired?
I'm just saying, Willow's been in 2. Skye's been in like 6 of them. Okay. Willow did have a promo that was met with a Harley Cameron original song.
That was my highlight of the night.
That was your highlight of the night.
The Harley Cameron song was so good.
Yeah, that's number 3.
That was fantastic, and Willow's still calling out Marina Shafir, so she's still going down that path. And she showed Harley to watch out with the whole Chris Statlander thing, watch your back sort of bit, okay. But you have Philly street fight between Toni Storm and Skye Blue. The Sandman references were fantastic. I loved them.
100%. She came out, got the drink, pounded it on her forehead, dude. I went nuts. I lost her right there. I'm like, let's go.
Oh, and then she had like the signed kendo stick from Sandman too. You know,
yeah.
It was
earlier in the day, like there's a video that she knighted Sandman with a kendo stick.
That's amazing. Oh God, that's amazing. But this match was just fucking bonkers. Okay, this was again. I know you have certain thoughts about Skye Blue as an on-ring or on-screen wrestling talent, Austin Reddick. I love her in these street fights because she fits, and you know, her street fights, her death matches she had with Willow were fantastic. I thought this was great, and never has a staple gun been used in a more prolific way than it was here, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it has been, just not on TV. That is not an original spot.
Not original at all. But it was great to have, you know. So stapling the butt and the boobs and the cooch. Toni Storm is a national treasure. All right. So you guys gave me some of your thoughts about the Philly street fight.
It was fun. I am not a Skye Blue hater. Just
you go back and
too many botches to be on TV.
That's fair.
But I thought she was fine tonight. I think this was a good spot for her. Go out there, do some fun stuff, and eat a pin from Toni Storm. Like, perfectly fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not anti Skye Blue. Just, you know, clean it up before we see you wrestle regularly. Learn how to hit your own finish, please, because not a great batting average on that. But aside from that, like, Skye Blue does not have any kind of go away heat with me. I don't change the channel when Skye Blue comes on. It's just there's some glaring mistakes sometimes just take away. But all that aside, I thought she was perfectly fine tonight, and I enjoyed this match.
I do want to interject here, Jay, before you get to it. But I just want to say, just go for a regular code red and call it code blue. You don't need the spin fucks you up every time.
Yeah, she comes into it sideways, and it never works.
And when she does it, it looks cool. It's great, right? But it's so hard to do that. Just do a regular code blue, code red. Okay,
yeah.
just do it regular. Call it a blue instead of a red, and be done with it. It's fine. All right, Jamie, go.
Or just have a new finisher. Preferably like a lion tamer. She can call it the blue tamer. It's all good.
Bits never die.
No, this match was great. It had all the fun spots. That the mousetrap table, that was sick. Just loved it. Like there's so much about this match I thoroughly enjoyed. My match of the night, hands down.
I don't think AEW has ever done a hardcore women's match that wasn't great.
No,
like they're just so good at it.
No. I mean, you had the lights out, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa match. You had the Ty J versus Penelope and the Bunny match, right, on New Year's Eve.
One great AEW match right there.
No, that match was, and Jay's best match in AEW. Oh my God.
Skye's best match in AEW. All 4 of those women's best match in AEW.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just one of the best matches in AEW history.
Yep. And then you had, like I said, you had the string of Skye Blue versus Willow death matches, right? I think there was 2 of them, Yeah, they don't miss on these women's hardcore matches. And then I totally forgot, you had the Ruby Soho where she's bleeding buckets match. Remember that one?
You had Willow and Stat. You had Toni and Mariah.
Oh yeah,
it's great because they don't force them to hold back. It's just go out there and have a hardcore match, and
it's always good.
It's always good.
Yeah. After the match, you got on Collision. It was announced after the whole 8-woman tag and everything that's going on. So it's going to be a 4-way match for the women's title at All Out. Toni Storm defending against Tekla, Chris Statlander, and Jamie Hayter. And they gave Jamie Hayter's character little legs too, because she made it on the Collision. She made it known to everybody that, hey, remember, you're the reason that I lost that title or whatever, or had the title taken away from me, because Toni Storm's the one who actually injured Jamie Hayter in story back when she was the champion and she had to go out. So I like that, giving her a little leg, giving her some stuff, right? And you had all the women come out, right? So you had the rest of the Triangle of Madness come out and, attack, and, Statlander came, and out came Jamie, and, do you think, either of you, that there's a chance, because this is a good time to do it in a 4-way match, you don't have to have Toni Storm lose to lose the title. Do you think this is a good time to take the belt off of her, to put it on any of the 3?
I almost feel weird saying this because I have been very vocal in the past,
Now she doesn't need the title.
Where do you go next with Toni Storm? I don't see any of these 3 taking the title off her right now.
Okay.
I think Tekla is close. I think you need to do more with her before you want to give her that top title run. Statlander, she's there. She's been there forever. She's a certain amount of over she's always going to be. But again, you haven't done anything really big with Statlander in some time.
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter just came back from being out injured again after coming back from being out injured and doing largely nothing. A little run with Julia Hart. I don't think you're going to get heat from Tekla winning. I don't think you're going to get a real big pop for Statlander or Jamie winning. I don't think any of the other 3 are the person to take the title off Toni right now.
It's one of 2 potential returning stars, is what Mark Stradamus believes.
You just gonna throw that out there and let us dangle in the wind?
Yeah, like the angle of the dangle. Yeah, no. Well, they're going to be going to Pittsburgh here in the very near future.
That's right after all the pay-per-view.
Do we see a Britt Baker?
No.
I don't think so.
Gotta hope not, but it is possible.
I mean, that'd be the one city where you do.
We may see her in print. There's no way she's taking the title off Toni.
Yeah, that's why I think it's number 2 who's going to do it. She's had passport problems, gentlemen, for a while. She had to go back to her home country for a while. She also held on to that belt during COVID. Yes. Hikaru Shida. This is going to be the one. Push her to the moon.
See, and
I'm going to disagree with that one too.
I am of the ilk that everybody in the world knows Toni Storm doesn't need that belt to be the star that she is. Okay. We all know this. That's a factual statement that just lives out here in the corner anyway, right? With that being said, I feel like if you want to get some rub and some push in the women's division, this is not a bad place to do that. Now, is it going to be good for any of the 3 of them? maybe not as much as you'd like, but they put the belt. I mean, think about this. Statlander ended. Now I know it's because she was getting ready to be gone, right? But Statlander ended Jade Cargill's run as TBS champion, right? Somewhat surprisingly and out of nowhere, right? You know, and Jamie Hayter, when she was here the first time, pre Scooby Surprise Jamie Hayter, she was one of the most over people in all of wrestling, right? I agree with you. I think that Thecla's maybe not ready to be like the title holder. Like I don't think it'll get enough heat. But I think if you're going to try and see where you can go with this and mix it up, at least for a little bit, this is not a bad time to do that. Maybe put the belt back on Hayter for a pay-per-view cycle, right? Or something like that. Who knows, right?
I think more likely, I'm not locking this in as a pick right now, but I think there's a non-zero chance the other women's title changes hands at All Out.
Okay.
And then before too long, Mercedes still ends up being the one to take that title off Toni, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of babyface women that can challenge for a while and eventually build one up to take it off of her. I don't think there's anybody that the fans want to see beat Toni, and Mercedes at least get heat for it. So I think that's the most likely scenario.
Okay.
And I think Riho is a great person to come in and take that TBS title off Mercedes. It's Riho. She is goated in AEW. You're gonna buy into her beating anybody. And then I think you can have some. I could see Tekla taking the TBS title off Riho in a month or two.
Well, I think too. I think one of the titles is going to change. Just one, not both.
Yeah,
I think whichever one does change, you start to see some bouncing with it, because I think that's what they need too, right? They've done this a few times in the past. The TNT title got more impressive when it was bouncing between. You had Miro, and then you had, Sammy, and then they bounced it around a little bit, gave it a little, I think you're going to see bouncing around one of the two, and I don't know which way you go with that, but I don't know. I just think if you're going to drop the title off Toni without, this is the time to do it in a 4-way. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but to what we were saying, Toni Storm doesn't need that title, but that title needs Toni Storm right now.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, I don't see a scenario where Mercedes doesn't hold that title eventually.
No.
And I think the best time is her to be the bridge between Toni and another babyface. And not a short title run either. I think Mercedes will hold on that for a while. But yeah, I like that too, because I would like to see the TBS title being the one bounce around between the dozen talented women you have below Toni and Mercedes. Like, there's so much you can do there. But we'll see.
Who knows? I mean, 10 days away, ladies and gentlemen. Just a week and a half away. We end the show with the $500,000 10-man battle royal. You got the Death Riders, and I know that they're doing this, but I love the way that they keep like just pecking on the Young Bucks here, So it comes out with their government names and the little mugshot looking bit for the Young Bucks. The lower third on them is always just fantastic, right? So you had Matthew, what was it? Matthew Ron John. What's their last name again?
Massey.
Massey.
Yeah, it was Matthew Ron John Massey
and Nicholas Lee Massey versus the Ops and Brodito. And this is your nightly let's do the most PWG shit to end the show match that you can get. Okay, and it was so PWG, but I love that. This is where they had the "fuck 'em up" chant going. I mean, everything was fantastic. Spots all over the place. My God, the vitriol for Wheeler Yuta, I love how over he is as a heel. Like, people just
in Philly, no less.
in his hometown.
Yeah. They
Well, it's
love to hate
Philly.
Wheeler Yuta, and like that's the best thing you can have as a heel.
It is Philly.
people
His,
just love
his
to
own
hate
his
you.
own mother was probably flipping him off. I mean, it is Philly for what it's worth. But
I know I said it a few weeks ago, but I love these. We're gonna put a bunch of money on the line for the winning team. Just it gives it some stakes,
yep. Now
and
Moxley,
especially the added wrinkle of the Young Bucks are now broke because they're no longer EVPs,
Yep.
and they needed the money. And
Right.
Mox being like, "Just focus on winning. We'll give you the whole bag."
Yep. Did
They're
you
like
did you
Randolph and Mortimer from Trading Places.
did you like how when the Death Riders came out, Moxley wouldn't even look at Bryan Danielson as he walked past the announce table?
I like that. I especially like that as they started their entrance, Bryan Danielson on commentary explicitly laid out why he could not get involved. Like, I would get fired if I got involved in this or any other. Like, thank you. Just give us a quick explanation because obviously the man tried to kill you with the plastic bag. Just fill us in. Like, it was such a nice little touch.
And it all boils down to Bucks doing Bucks things and using that heel shit to cheat to win, Jamie. So they leave $500,000, roughly richer. Bro Dito didn't take too kindly to that and beats him up and some money goes flying and as they hightail it out of there, which is really the separation what you got, you know. So you've got the ops left over and they're just getting the run shot by the Death Riders. Out comes Darby Allin and he makes the save, and you got Darby and Moxley in the ring, which of course is met by a hooded figure coming in to Moxley's defense. And the hooded figure is Daniel Garcia. Surprised? Yes, no? And tell me why.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say surprise. I wasn't particularly moved by this in any way. And I almost feel bad saying I like Daniel Garcia. I think it's a good move. Like turning back heel again. His babyface run has run out of steam. Like you've done what you can. It all makes sense on paper, but watching it, like, I don't know. It didn't do much for me. I didn't dislike it. I was just like, oh, all right, cool. Daniel Garcia is a bad guy again. That's fine. I guess I didn't see anything big coming from this. Like, it didn't get me excited for what's to come. It was just like, oh, cool. That's just another thing that's happening.
Yeah, I know exactly how I was in the moment. I'm just sitting there like, oh, it's Daniel Garcia. Cool.
Yeah.
That was it.
Fine. Not sad about it, but just like not hyped either.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I see what they're doing here. Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. Do I care? No, but it's cool.
My brain was more just about doing math about how it was like, all right, so is this because we're never going to see wow. Pack again? Whatever. There's another member in the Death Riders. Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
all
saw
these
someone
heel
on
factions are getting
Twitter a week or two ago, after Darby came back and all that, threw out a really fun theory of where that might have been heading, which is not the case anymore. But they showed that shot from early on in the Death Riders angle where you have Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Hook, and Darby Allin kind of selling on the side from the Death Riders when Mox was challenging the young guys to step up and all that.
Yeah.
And they had predicted that it was going to lead to those guys coming back together to finally fight off the Death Riders, which was kind of interesting. Clearly, that's not the case anymore. Although I could definitely see this leading to the return of Orange Cassidy sooner rather than later.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I literally thought about the Orange Cassidy a lot while it was going on here. You know, maybe Orange Cassidy comes and makes the save, you know, and because these guys are solidly in your long-term mid to upper card, right? You know, so building alliances and building lines, you know, kind of giving them the right stories to go with it. I have no problem with it. It wasn't necessarily surprising to me either, especially considering everything that's been going on. Just like when Chris Statlander eventually joins them as well, right? This has been laid out for weeks and months at a time. So, okay. But no, Daniel Garcia is there and he beats the shit out of Darby Allin. So that's how you end the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just realized why this really did nothing for me. We are back to where we were like a year and a half ago with Daniel Garcia.
Pretty much.
Like he's kind of just a lackey in a group again. And yeah, it kind of just seems like a step back for him a little bit.
I mean, Jamie, that's the Daniel Garcia problem, though. You brave about his in-ring performance, but what do you do with him out like besides that?
What do you do with Lance Storm? He's Lance Storm, guys.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I've been saying that for how long now? He's Lance Storm.
At least 2 or 3 years. So, all right. Well, that was Dynamite. There was a big return, though, elsewhere in the wrestling world, Jamie.
There was. Light it up, guys.
All right, so you're not going to take that, apparently. I thought you were going to run with that.
I am. I'm still going.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you guys ready to light it up?
Sure.
Light it up. Because AJ Lee's back. I know everybody's excited for somebody who hasn't wrestled in about a decade. She was a diva, and in a world of pennies, she was a dime. So everybody thought she was amazing because she's around a whole bunch of people who could wrestle. But she could.
Heather's hot take from earlier, for those of you following along, maybe not watching on our live chat here. So Heather, our moderator down there, has said, hot take, I never thought AJ Lee was that good. And I agree with you. I never got the whole AJ Lee thing. Now, I had not really watched a lot of WWE in that time period because the product was mostly meh. And I was really into TNA at that time, too. Like, really into TNA. So much of a better product. So I never understood the infatuation a lot of people have with AJ Lee as talent. But she's back to team up with her husband. Okay.
So I like AJ Lee. And I was watching at the time when she came up. And she was a breath of fresh air in a women's division that was very much still stuck in that Divas era. I'm not even sad about her coming back. I'm not particularly excited, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is that's the one trick WWE just keeps pulling out of their bag. Is like, well, we don't got anything new for you, but here's someone you used to like. Like it's fine, but I've seen AJ Lee. It's cool she's back after a decade off. For a long time, it sounded like she wasn't going to wrestle again. So good for her. Apparently, this is a full-time comeback. So good for her being back in wrestling. But again, like, can we get something else besides we don't make new stars, we just bring back old ones?
Yeah. And when your wife was at WoW, or I guess there's somebody very similar to her at WoW. Did she have run-ins with AJ? Because AJ was there, right?
I think so. I want to say AJ was there when she first got to WoW, and I think like the next season she was gone. I'll have to ask her. I don't remember specifically, but I think there was some crossover there.
Okay. Interesting.
So, at least for what it's worth, I mean, I do like how WWE has moved away from the whole kayfabe of not acknowledging that people are married in real life, you know? They did that when they had, like, the Becky kind of come out and screw over CM Punk, right? You know, and he responds with his wife, which is the logical move, right? Yeah, my wife is also a wrestler, so she's going to fight you, Miss Wrestler Lady. So, I get it. It's fine. And it's not a bad story. It's just, I don't know. I was never into AJ Lee. So I'm like, okay.
While we're on this really quick, it is hilarious that they're bringing back AJ Lee and Brock Lesnar to counter program it all out. And Tony's just like, we're just going to start all out earlier.
Yeah.
It'll be over before your show starts.
I know.
I did love that. It's like, fine. We'll just start earlier, guys.
and what next one? The WWE is going to move it earlier, and Tony's going to go, all right, 7:00 start. Let's go. It is another afternoon. So the only other news I think that was out there, Jamie, is that we have a WrestleMania announcement.
We do. Y'all like blood money? Sorry. Still can't let that go, CM Punk. Yes, WrestleMania in 2027 will be in Saudi Arabia.
Yep, that's a thing.
But it also goes back to the thought that WWE has been putting out the possibility of having 2 WrestleManias a year.
That would not surprise me. I mean, they've been talking about this for a long time, and of course, London was always the talk that they're going to do a WrestleMania at London. Well, somebody else beat them to that punch. You know, I mean, the only other WrestleMania that was outside of America was the Toronto WrestleMania. No, wait a minute.
6.
Thank you.
And then 18.
Okay, I was trying to think. I know this. I couldn't remember which.
Yeah, it was Hogan Warrior, then Hogan Rock. We're both in Toronto.
Right. I mean, and I get the idea of being global and doing it. You know, it's just with the.
I think the biggest thing is that
I don't know how to go about this.
Like it. I don't care one way or the other because WrestleMania has just been another WWE show for some time now.
That's true.
I think if it still was as big and significant as it used to be, it would seem like a bigger deal. But I don't even remember when the last like truly great WrestleMania was. There's been a great match here and there, and like they've been fine, but it's just it doesn't hit like it used to. So yeah, hold it wherever you want. I'll still end up watching, but like, it doesn't matter.
17, last great one.
30 was pretty solid.
30, yeah. Sorry to think about that. Yeah.
I think it'd be rad if they did one night in the States and one night in Saudi Arabia.
That would be cool.
See, that'd be cool. You know, I'd be cool with that, right? And it'd be interesting how they do like it because I know the women have to be fully covered too. So
either they did WrestleMania 2 from 3 different locations, and you've got the time difference on your side. Like, could you start instead of night 1 and night 2, like first half, second half? First half is in Saudi Arabia from like noon to 4, and the other half's in the States from like 4 to 8. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be cool. I mean, this is bound to happen, and you know, I think a little bit part of it is too. WWE's been doing a lot more. You know, they do the shows in Europe, and they've been having a lot of success with that, and you know, the Pacific Islands, you know, down in Australia, and you know, it's bound to happen, and it is blood money. Yes, Jamie, you're not wrong, but I mean, that is a lot of money, so. Might as well
They offer me that money. I'd be sell out so fast. So like I'm not even trying to say, you know. It's like we give you $1 million to come out here for a day. Yeah, okay.
And that's the thing, like the Saudis will pay more than you will make in a gate in Vegas or anywhere else running your WrestleMania. Like they will just pay more than you would make to just get it there.
As it's hard to say no. All right. All right. Anything else you boys want to get to this week?
No, but pretty light week in wrestling news.
All right, week in wrestling news. Fantastic week of football news, though. Go Tigers. We will see you guys again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. We're about 10 days out as well. So next week is the go home for All Out. So we will definitely talk a little bit more about that. We've got the cards shaping up together. But we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, if it's your first time here, give us a subscribe. Big thumbs up. We will see you on the internets at Total Spotfest. Jamie, take us home, man. Don't make me mute you
before
again.
I do,
I will do it. I will mute you again. Don't make me do it.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Before I do, lots of crazy shit's been going on around this world in the past 3 days. Just love each other.
Please.
Love your family. Like, find your peace. That's all I gotta say. Like, I'm not trying to get all crazy, but
and wear socks with your suits.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down at Total Spotfest, I got 3 words for you. I'm beating you.
Oh.
No chance.
No chance in hell.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.